I'm honestly baffled by this bizarre situation and don't know how to handle it. I'm a 22-year-old woman with a passion for various hobbies. I'd say I'm a bit of a hobby enthusiast. Haha. My main interests right now are running, I'm training for a marathon, baking, reading, and something called scrap journaling, which some might not know about. Reading, in particular, has been a big part of my life since I was a teenager. About 6 months ago, I noticed something odd. Several of my books had creased pages, which I never do. I asked my boyfriend, 23, if he'd borrowed them, which I'd be fine with, but he swore he hadn't touched them. Strange, but I let it go. Then my running shoes started vanishing. I own an expensive pair I keep separate from my work shoes. I'm a nurse and my hospital shoes are gross, LOL. But these running shoes would disappear, only to reappear days later in places I'd never leave them. Weird, but I brushed it off. Then my journal got ruined. Somehow it ended up in our garage where it leaks during rain. The dampness warped about 28 pages, ruining hours of detailed artwork I'd poured into each one. I was devastated and even cried over it. My boyfriend seemed dismissive but helped me try to repair the damage. I briefly wondered if he'd left it there, but it seemed so random I dismissed the thought. Why would he? Next, my books started disappearing. I have a massive bookshelf with over 200 books, and I read daily. One by one, they vanished. I searched the entire house, texted my 3 sisters, my brother, and my boyfriend's sister, who often borrows my books but always asks, to see if they'd taken any. They all said no. I was completely confused. Then my baking supplies went missing. My mixer, baking trays, everything. I couldn't find them when I wanted to bake. The breaking point was when my expensive stand mixer stopped working entirely. I confronted my boyfriend asking if he was behind all this. He admitted he'd been hiding or breaking my things because my hobbies irritated him. I was furious. I called him out for tampering with my belongings and said it was bizarre behavior for an adult. He defended himself, claiming I spent too much time on my pointless hobbies and not enough with him, and this was his way of making me prioritize our relationship. For context, that's not true. We have a solid relationship, or so I thought. We go on dates twice weekly, are intimate regularly, and get along with each other's friends and family. I was so upset by his confession that I left to stay with my sister. They agreed his actions were incredibly strange. When I returned home this morning, I was shocked. He'd destroyed everything. My running shoes had cut soles and laces, my Apple Watch was gone, my baking tools were ruined, silicone molds were shredded, and a box of my missing books was in the trash. My journal, which he'd helped me fix, was torn to pieces. I broke down crying. It might sound dramatic, but I'd invested so much time and money into these things. Hundreds of dollars on baking supplies I used for my little cousin's school events, my favorite books, my journal, all gone. I don't understand what's wrong with him. He's never acted like this before. I'm so confused. Is he projecting something? What do I do? This guy sounds unhinged. Kick him out, change the locks, and consider legal action. File a police report to document everything. It doesn't matter that he wasn't like this before. Either something snapped, or he was hiding this side of himself. You've lost valuable items. Take photos of the damage, like the cut shoes which clearly weren't ruined by accident. Save any texts where he admits to this, and try to get him to confess in writing like, "I'm sorry I broke your stuff, please come back." You could sue for property damage and emotional distress. He's abusive, and you deserve someone who supports your passions. Until 6 months ago, he did support me. He even read some of my favorite books with me. I'm so lost about what changed. This behavior is terrifying. He was likely pretending to be normal, but this is the real him. Abusers act kind until they feel secure, then show their true colors. You're not leaving him because he hates your hobbies. You're leaving because he's cruel, deliberately destroying your joy to control you. It's hard to see it as abuse when he's never made you feel unsafe before, but this is abuse. I'm still at my sister's, figuring out my next steps. Thank you all for the support. It means a lot. I learned my story was shared on TikTok and Reddit. My boyfriend uses TikTok, and if he sees it, things could escalate. I'm feeling overwhelmed. People are also worried about my dog. I'm torn between going alone to get her tonight or leaving her there, which feels risky. Thank you for all the concern. It's overwhelming in a good way. If you just want to know I'm okay, I am. Here's the full story. Last night, I decided to get my dog after many warned he might harm her to manipulate me. I didn't tell him I was coming, just went with my sister and used my key. He came downstairs begging me to talk, saying I was overreacting. I ignored him, grabbed my dog, and said I'd return today with my siblings to collect my things. I warned him that if he touched anything else, I'd take him to small claims court, as many suggested. I'm seriously considering it now. He got angry when I mentioned court. I quickly grabbed essentials, passport, laptop, work badge, while he followed, pleading for another chance. My sister took photos of the destroyed items, which were oddly stuffed in our hallway closet. As we left, my sister snapped at him, calling him names, and he pushed her out of the doorway. She fell but wasn't hurt. That moment confirmed everything. He's capable of worse, especially if I'd gone alone. We left with my dog and went back to my sister's. We contacted the police and started a report, documenting the destroyed items, his threatening texts, and one where he said he'd never hurt our dog but might have to get me back. My sister had a small scrape from the fall but declined to press charges for now. The officer advised listing all damaged items and their costs, saying it might qualify as a felony if I pursue it. I'm not sure yet. This afternoon, my brother, a friend, and other men are taking me to the house to pack what's left. My sister texted my ex, suggesting he not be there. He replied with vile messages, insulting me, sharing private details about our relationship, and saying he regrets meeting me. My brother wants me to file a restraining order. He checked my devices and car for tracking devices. Everything's clean, thankfully. I'm not worried he'll hurt me when I go back, as I'll have my ex-military brother and friend with me. I'm staying with my sisters for now, and my brother insists on staying a few days to keep an eye out. I thought I was overreacting, but now I think he might be, LOL. I'm grieving the loss of a 2-year relationship with someone I thought was my soulmate, someone I lived with and trusted completely. But he's not that person anymore. Maybe he never was. My sister helped me recall subtle controlling behaviors over the years. If I hadn't posted here, I might have let him convince me to stay. This is the worst thing I've ever gone through, and I hope no one else experiences this. It's not as rare as I thought. This guy is dangerous. She and her dog are safe, but she needs to stay far away and keep her new location secret. Even small acts like hiding her shoes are manipulative, but destroying everything. That's next level. I collect gaming books and dice, 30 years worth. If someone trashed them, I'd be furious. Those items hold memories. Her brother isn't overreacting. She's underreacting, likely because it hasn't fully sunk in. She keeps saying he's never been like this, but he's showing who he is. He did this to hurt and control her, not because of time or stress. She must keep allies around and never go back alone. You went from thinking it's nothing to screaming at him, and now, when he asks for space, you're spamming his phone and considering showing up at his friends'. He's justified in wanting to end things. Most would. Your reaction was uncalled for, especially since you were nearly certain nothing happened. You don't sound sorry enough, and any apology would likely have a but. Respect his need for space. Wait at least a day before reaching out again. He might come around, but don't push. Your behavior seems controlling and possibly abusive. Insecurity is something to discuss calmly, not explode over. You need to work on yourself before you're ready for a healthy relationship. He should probably end it if you can't trust him interacting with others. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.